Okay, hello everyone and welcome to the webinar. My name is Abbas Ravji, and in today's webinar we're going to be discussing and we're going to be looking at methods which are 100% white hat, which are totally free, and they're strategies that are going to allow you to automate your SEO. Now, I'm not going to actually be presenting the webinar to you, but we have put in a brilliant and exclusive bonus for this presentation or for this offer, and the presentation is actually going to be done by a very cool team, a very well-known team and well-respected team in the SEO industry. You might have actually attended many of their webinar sessions, their hump day hangout sessions. They're known as Semantic Mastery, and they're a team of 4 or 5 users, I believe. And they actually have a brilliant package that they're going to be taking you through today that's going to show you and allow you to automate the entire package. So we've actually got Bradley on with us. Well, we've actually got the whole team, but I'm going to be passing this over to Bradley. Bradley is the actual presenter who's going to be taking you through the whole presentation. So Bradley, if you can hear me, if you can
Yes,
hear me.
I can hear you.
Fantastic stuff, Bradley. Okay, I was just making sure there wasn't no lag there. So Bradley, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make you presenter so that we're going to give you full control and we're going to be showing your screen. You should see
Okay.
prompt.
I see it now. Let me grab the webinar. Let's see. Well, that should have been it. Let me try this again. How about that? You guys seeing it now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
How do we do this? Move this. It's saying move this window away from the shared. How about that? Is that better?
Yep, fantastic. We've got you nice and clear. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Bradley, is I'm going to pass full control over to you. Well, you already have full control. I'm going to put myself on mute, let you take them through the fantastic presentation. And if you can just pass it over back to me for a moment so I can let everyone know of our exclusive bonus as well, then that would be brilliant.
Okay. Let me see. Change presenter. Okay, I got it. See, I'm not a GoToWebinar user. I'm a Hangouts user, so this always confuses me. But you should have it back now, Abs.
Oh yeah, I've got it back now. Oh,
Okay.
you passed it back over to me, Bradley. Oh no, okay.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Bradley. What I meant is, if you go ahead, do your presentation just before the end, you pass it over to me so that I can let
I got you.
everyone know
Yeah.
about the exclusive bonus that we've got. So I've passed over presentation
Okay,
back
I'm
to
sorry
you.
about that. And yeah, I've got a reminder slide placed in the right place for you. So.
Brilliant. And I'm going to put myself on mute, and you've got full control now.
Okay. Well, I see some names in the chat box that I recognize. So what's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about how to automate SEO, social signals, and ranking with a 100% white hat strategy. And some of you are already probably aware of what we're going to be talking about today, and that's fine. But a lot of you may not. And so we're going to try to get through this presentation very quickly because we've got a lot of slides to get through. It's a lot of content, guys, so try to pay attention. You're going to pick up some pretty good nuggets of information that you can put into practice immediately to help with your video ranking and SEO, social media, all of it. So today I want to introduce all of us real quick. We are Semantic Mastery. Going from left to right, the images that you see at the bottom there, I am on the far left. That's me, Bradley Benner. Then there's Adam Moody, then Marco Benavides, Chris Pilwain, and Hernan Vasquez. And we are the 5 of us make up Semantic Mastery. We've been together for, I'd say, about 3 years, roughly, maybe even a little bit more than that. Our promise to you today is that by the end of this presentation you're going to know how to automate SEO and video ranking using 100% free and Google approved techniques. Okay, and that's key, guys, Google approved techniques, right? Alright, so what we're going to cover in this training is how to use a super powerful plus free method that puts SEO and social media work on complete autopilot. The 3-step process that we use to rank videos, websites, and other digital assets with IFTTT syndication networks. So there, I let the cat out of the bag. You guys know what this is about. It's about IFTTT, SEO, and syndication networks. Yeah, the 2 things that you need to do before even thinking of publishing content to your YouTube or your blog. Okay. And there's going to be a bonus for anybody attending the webinar or even that watches the replay. If you stay until the end, you're going to receive an exclusive set of recipes and triggers for SEO free. Some of you probably already have our account workbook template, but we're going to give that away. If you don't have access to it yet, you'll get that throughout this presentation. Okay. So can SEO, social signals, and ranking be automated? And well, it can. And it's funny because we do Facebook advertising, and sometimes we get trolls, internet trolls, that post comment on our Facebook ads that say stuff like, "You can't automate SEO. Anybody that says that is stupid." All right, well then my SEO agency for the last 4 years has been using these methods, and it's been working, and nobody ever told us that it didn't work. So we can automate SEO, social signals, and ranking, and it's very, very powerful indeed. And so the method that we're going to talk about today doesn't require any tools. I mean, certainly there are tools that you can purchase that will help, but it doesn't require any. You don't have to worry about a Google penalty, which is really key, especially now. All of you on this webinar right now I'm sure, do SEO in some form or fashion. Even if all you do is video marketing, you're still doing SEO, right? And a lot of you probably do a whole lot more than just video as well. And worrying about a Google penalty is it's a very real problem that we have to deal with on a regular basis as SEOs. And the method that we're going to teach today is something that is white hat and Google approved, and it works. It just flat out works. Do the work of an entire team. One of the things one of the themes that you guys are going to hear throughout this webinar is automation and outsourcing. Okay, and that's key to growing and scaling your business. And so by setting up these networks that we're going to talk about today, you're going to be able to automate work that would take an entire team of people to do if it was being done manually. Okay, so very, very important. Build links and social signals. We know how key that is. For both novice and advanced SEOs, it doesn't matter where you are in your SEO career or your level of experience. This is something that can help you to grow your business. Stop buying shiny objects. I mean, guys, we're in a market that is just flooded with products on a daily basis. I'm sure your inbox looks like mine, your email inbox, which is just offer after offer after offer, and it's very, very distracting, and it's hard to stay focused. But one of the worst ways, or one of the best ways to sabotage your business, is to always be chasing shiny objects and looking for the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. The thing is most of you probably already have all the tools that you need right now to be successful. You just need to apply them. And so we're going to talk about, stop chasing shiny objects and apply what you know and the tools that you already have, and to generate revenue. You can sell to clients and agencies. We're going to talk about monetization a bit later. And then work with recent algorithm changes. The methods that we are going to share with you today are actually becoming even more powerful as time goes on. As the algorithm continues to evolve, we continue to move further and further in the semantic web, or Web 3.0. It's very, very powerful, okay? And it just continues to become more powerful, and that's what we've seen, okay? So unlearn what you've been taught about SEO. The reason I have that kind of quote down there, unlearn what you've been taught about SEO, is because a lot of you probably are coming with some SEO background or experience, and a lot of the traditional SEO methods that you've been taught don't really apply to what we're going to be teaching today. And there's a reason for that, and we'll get into that a little bit further into the presentation. But I just want this to be clear. Unlearn what you've been taught about SEO, because the methods that we're going to talk about are a bit counterintuitive to what you're used to hearing, okay? But we have been, testing and refining this method for over 4 years now, and it just, like I said, it just continues to become more and more effective, okay? All right, so what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Well, these are some traits that I think everybody that, as an entrepreneur, and all of you on this webinar are entrepreneurs, or you wouldn't be here, okay? And these are the things that I've found over the many years now. I've been an entrepreneur for many, many years. I've been specifically in the digital marketing space for about 6 years now. And I think these traits apply to no matter what business you're in. But you have to have passion, a burning desire, and commitment to your business, okay? Focus plus massive action. Just having a desire or a passion for something isn't going to make you any money. But staying focused, which is what I just talked about with shiny objects, avoiding those, and taking massive action, that in itself is going to give you more results than anything else. All the tools in the world and all the training in the world is great, but if you don't take massive action, you're not going to achieve any results. And so focus and massive action will trump learning and products and tools any day of the week. Okay? So you must be willing to innovate and always be pushing limits, especially in the SEO world. It's something that we do a lot of testing all the time. Semantic Mastery, we're always testing stuff before we share our results with or methods with others, because we want to make sure that they're duplicatable results and not just a fluke. Okay, and we're always pushing the limits. Our mad scientist Marco, he does some real nasty stuff to Google all the time, and and it's kind of fun watching him do it. So. Share experiences with others or pay it forward. That's kind of how Semantic Mastery got started. As you know, we were just a mastermind group. We would like an accountability group. We would meet with each other on a weekly basis to hold each other accountable and to help push each other further in our. And we ended up realizing that what we had was kind of special, and that we wanted to be able to, and we were achieving outstanding results with just kind of helping each other. So we decided to share that with the world, and thus Semantic Mastery was born. Okay, ability to automate, outsource, and scale. That's absolutely key for any business, in my opinion, because you know, if you start a business, guys, as an entrepreneur and you're doing all the work yourself, then you're just self-employed. You know, you may be a business owner, but you're really self-employed because all you've done is created a job for yourself. And hey, being self-employed is way better than working for somebody else. There's no doubt. But if you want to be a true entrepreneur, a true business owner, then you need to be able to remove yourself from your business and have it still make you money. And that's where automation, outsourcing, and scaling comes in. Okay. So how I got to where I am now, we're going to go through these very, very quickly because this part can take a long time, and I don't want to bore you guys with this. I want to get to the meat, so we're going to go right through here, and I'm just going to run through these bullets very, very quickly. Let's see. All right, so I started doing SEO in 2009, guys. I was an electrician. I've been in the marketing industry, in and out of the marketing industry since about 2000, since about the year 2000. And I got started in marketing. You know, I've always had a technical background. I'm a certified electrician. I ended up becoming an electrical contractor. I also worked for Verizon as a communications technician. I was a cable splicing technician. So I've done all that. But then in around 2000, I was young. I was 21 at the time. No, I would have been 23, excuse me. I was 23 at the time, and I got into real estate because that was back when real estate was hot in the U.S., and if you touched it, you made money. So I got into the real estate business, and I was buying and selling houses. I was flipping homes. I was rehabbing homes, wholesaling homes, doing all of that, lease with the option to purchase, you know, being one of those quick-turn real estate guys. So that's where I got introduced into marketing, because I had to market my business. And I did that part-time at first, but then went full-time into it and got out of the technical trade industry because I was really, really successful. But, you know, fast forward 2006, 2007, when the market crashed, the U.S. Housing bubble burst, and I basically went bankrupt, and I lost everything. And so I went back to doing electrical work and contracting for about 2 years. And then in 2009, I was tired of it again already. I just wasn't making much money, and it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I started looking to get back into real estate. And at the time, of course, the environment had changed quite a bit. The real estate environment had changed quite a bit. So it wasn't as easy anyways. It wasn't as easy to make money in real estate as it had been, you know, 7 years earlier. However, because of that, I wasn't doing very well at trying to get back into that business. But I was going to, you know, real estate investor association meetings and things like that, and I was rubbing elbows with other real estate investors, and I would go talk to the most successful investors of the groups and ask them, what are you doing differently than what I'm doing to give you the kind of level of success that you're having? And I had conversations. I'd take some of these guys out to lunch and that kind of stuff and just pick their brains. And what I found was in 2009 that the marketing landscape had gone online. When I had started my real estate business prior to, you know, earlier, before that, I was doing direct mail, flyer inserts in the newspapers, bandit signs on the side of the road, so traditional marketing. But in 2009, when I started to try to get back in, I was unsuccessful with that marketing medium, with traditional marketing methods. So again, when I found out all of the most successful investors that I talked to had a strong online presence. At the time, I didn't have any money to hire somebody like me now. So I ended up starting to learn about how to you know, market myself online and market my business online, and started learning SEO and how to build websites and all of that. And I got bit by that bug. In other words, I fell in love with the process. And instead of risking tens of thousands of dollars on real estate, I could risk tens of dollars on domains, right? And those were virtual property that I could develop and I could flip, or I could develop them and rent them out, like, you know, rank and rent method. There's a number of ways to monetize virtual real estate, which is what so I fell in love with the process. And so in 2009, I started doing local lead gen, because I didn't have any experience or portfolio to be able to show potential clients. Like, I had no experience. I couldn't show them what I was able to do for them. So I didn't want to approach businesses and try to sell them on something with no experience. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So what I did instead was I started building digital assets that were my own, that I owned. So I would build WordPress websites, and this was even before I started messing with YouTube, but I would build WordPress websites and get them to rank in Google, and then I would go contact businesses and say, hey, I've got this website that's ranked in your city, in your industry, and it's #1 for your main keywords. Go check it out. If you want, I can lease this property to you for a flat fee. Okay? So that was what's called the rank and rent method. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that. I started with that originally. I then progressed from learning or just renting properties or leasing properties for a flat monthly fee to the businesses that were renting them, to a more advanced pay-per-lead model, which requires a bit more infrastructure, but you can make more money that way, especially in certain industries. And then eventually I graduated to what is called revenue sharing, and that's where I kind of partner with my contractors or the providers the service providers that are buying leads from me, and I end up getting a percentage of closed sales, and that's my preferred method for lead gen. And I'd say probably about 40% of my overall income today still comes from my lead gen business, and I'm still constantly adding to my lead gen business. I love it because I own all the properties, right? It's my own digital empire. And but then when I got started in doing lead gen, guys, I was working mainly with contractors because I come from that industry. Being an electrical contractor, I understand that industry. I can speak their language. I just relate better to contractors. So from 2009 until 2012, every winter, Virginia on the East Coast, I'm right outside of DC, and so our winters get bad enough to where construction work always slows down. And again, I was working in the home industry or contractor industries, and so my income would always slow down during the winter. And after a couple years of that, I decided that I wanted to generate more steady revenue on a regular, something that was more consistent, more reliable. Not that I gave up my lead gen business. Again, to this day, about 40% of my income still comes from that. But in 2012, I opened up an agency, because by then I had enough digital assets in my portfolio that I could show as examples to potential clients, so that when I was prospecting, I could pitch to clients and show examples of properties that I owned that I had ranked all over the place and that were generating leads. And so it made it so much easier at that point to open up an agency and start prospecting and bringing on clients, local business clients. And the services that I started to provide at that time was just SEO, and then video SEO, because I had just started messing with YouTube, and in 2011 is when I first started messing with YouTube, and then Maps SEO, so ranking like in the Maps pack. At the time, they're a 7-pack, now it's a 3-pack. And then by default, I got into social media. It wasn't something I was really interested in, but it was something that I saw was a necessary evil at the time. And in content marketing, that evolved from the strategy that I'm going to show you guys today with IFTTT SEO. Okay, content marketing kind of came from that. It wasn't anything I ever planned on doing, but that'll make a little bit more sense when we get further on in the presentation. That said, in 2012, like I said, I started my agency. I had some initial success where I landed several clients, but the problem was that I grew kind of quickly, but I was 100% doing it on my own. I was a solopreneur. I did absolutely everything on my own. And so within about a year to a year and a half, I was tapped out. I was completely maxed out. I couldn't take on any more clients. I was making good money, but I couldn't take on any more clients because I was doing all the work myself. I had no team to support me, and there just wasn't enough hours in the day. So around that time, in 2012, later, at some point in 2012, it was near, I guess, the end of 2012, I came across IFTTT, and what introduced me to it was a WSO. I don't know if you guys remember Warrior. Some of you might not, but a lot of you that are more veteran marketers are going to remember WSOs, Warrior Special Offers. And there was a $7 WSO by David Koss called Stupid Simple Web Program, which introduced me to IFTTT. And at the time, you know, it was a $7 WSO. I bought those things like they were candy. You know, and I'm sure all of us have, right? And was always going through them, always going, you know, buying these junk products and stuff. But every now and then there was a gem, and this was one of them. And in this $7 PDF just changed the trajectory of my business. And Stupid Simple Web Programming basically just introduced IFTTT, and at the time IFTTT was very new. And IFTTT stands for if this then that. We'll get into that a little bit further, but Stupid Simple Web Programming just showed how simple it was to set up these recipes, and that's what they're called, as recipes, within IFTTT to syndicate content, to automate content syndication, and which helps with SEO, okay? And so when I learned that, you know, I followed the training within the PDF, and I started building these syndication networks, not thinking that they were really going to work. I just said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I never expected them to work. Well, it's funny, but after building a couple networks for some tree service tests or lead gen sites that I was building, I do a lot of lead gen work in the tree service industry, and I have now for about 5 years. And so I was building 2 new sites in the tree service industry. Well, one was a WordPress website, and the other one was I was using YouTube. And so I did built 2 IFTTT syndication networks according to this training from this PDF, and I attached one to a YouTube channel, and I attached one to a website, a local business website that I just built for lead gen. And I just continued to produce content like I had been. I was curating content for my blog, which we'll talk about that a little bit later as well, and I was also you know, uploading videos to YouTube for that. And again, I wasn't even really considering it to work all that well. I just had these networks, and to be honest with you, it's almost like I had forgot about them because I just continued publishing content like I normally did. Within a few days, I started, because I was always checking. At the time, I wasn't using rank tracking softwares and things like that. There weren't a lot of them back then, but I was checking manually in Google, and I was and it was tree services in Fairfax County, Virginia, and I started doing some manual checking to see where my site had come, and it had only been a couple weeks, and I started seeing some of my posts rank from my website, and then videos ranking too for some of the keywords that I had been targeting. And so at first I didn't even know what the hell it was, but I started, but like how did I get results so quickly? Like I had completely forgot about it. But finally, you know, after digging in a little bit further, what happened was I noticed that one of my blog posts that had been ranked from my self-hosted WordPress site, that within about 3 other listings, in other words, about 3 listings below that, one of the syndication properties that I was using was Blogger, and Blogger basically I would syndicate from my main money site. The blog post would automatically through IFTTT syndicate to Blogger and WordPress and Tumblr and a whole bunch of other properties. But I noticed that my Blogger post was also ranked and had the same title and everything, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I clicked on it, and then I realized what it was. It was my post that had been syndicated to the Blogger property, and the Blogger property had ranked as well. So I ended up having 2 listings on page 1 for my keyword. And I was really excited then, because then I realized it was the IFTTT network. So immediately I started testing with several other channels and other lead gen sites, and I started consistently getting the same results over and over again. And so from there, I developed a full training product. Well, at first what I did was because I was building the networks myself, they were incredibly time-consuming to build, and there's no doubt they are. They're time-consuming to build, but once they're set up, you don't have to touch them anymore. They're automated, which is beautiful. But I wanted to start outsourcing because I was doing all the work myself. So I hired some virtual assistants and created a training program to train virtual assistants how to build these networks for me. And that's where IFTTT SEO Academy came out of, okay? And I was able to scale my business from that point forward. And it's been amazing, the journey from that time that I discovered this to where my business is now. And it really all comes down to what I'm going to share with you guys in this presentation here today. So hopefully that shed some insight on where I was and how we got to where we are today. But what's interesting is when we created Semantic Mastery, or when we started meeting as an accountability group, I had met my partners in another mastermind community, and we've kind of formed, like I started the little sub-community with just a handful of us, and we would meet on a weekly basis to discuss what was working, you know, train each other on different methods. We all had our expertise in different areas, and so we would kind of all lean on each other for help and stuff like that. Well, one of the common themes of things that we were talking about when we would meet was things that we wish we had. And the tool that one of the tools or a tool, this concept of a tool that we wanted to do all these things, here are some of the points that we were talking about. Was, we wanted something that was automated, it was set and forget, free if possible, would provide relevant backlinks and powerful social signals, was evergreen, which means it wasn't something that was just a loophole that we could exploit for some period of time before it got closed, and hands-free, something that could be set up, again, set and forget and automated, right? And I didn't realize it at the time, but I already had this in place with the IFTTT networks, but I really didn't. I still at the time didn't think when we started meeting as a group that that it was as valuable as it was. But once I started sharing the information with the other guys about how I was using IFTTT to automate a lot of this stuff, we realized that we had the tool already. It was right there in front of us, and it was free. All these things that you see here was available with IFTTT networks. So. All right, so IFTTT is guys, if you're not familiar with it, go to ifttt.com and you can see it. It's free to sign up. It doesn't cost a dime, at least not yet. At some point, they might make it go paid, but it would still be worth it because, again, my entire SEO business is built on this as the foundation. And so IFTTT stands for if this, then that. And essentially, it's a bunch of, you can create recipes, and that's what this here is, a screenshot of what a recipe looks like. It's essentially if this, then that. So it means if a particular action occurs, then another action occurs. Like then so if something happens, then this happens, right? And so that's what this is. It consists of triggers and actions. That's what a recipe is. There's a trigger, which is if whatever happens, if this trigger happens, and then the action is, then we make the process do this, if that makes sense. So this representation that you see right here is an RSS feed. So if there's a new item detected in an RSS feed, so essentially a new post, then we repost or syndicate that post to WordPress, and this is WordPress.com, right? So the not self-hosted, but the free version of WordPress. Okay, so hopefully you guys get that. Here, the beautiful thing about IFTTT is it has evolved so much over the last several years. When I first got started in IFTTT, there was only a handful of channels. And what you're looking at here, guys, are called channels inside of IFTTT. They're essentially the Web 2.0 applications, social media, mobile apps, all the different integrations. Okay, that's what they call channels. So the integrations are channels inside of IFTTT. And again, when I first got started, there was only a handful of them. I mean, literally, there was, I think, under 20 properties at the time. But now there's like close to 300. Am I right or not? If you're on, I think there's like 300 properties now, something like that.
Yeah, around 300 something. Yeah, Bradley, you're right. And then they keep adding stuff. It's crazy what you can do with IFTTT. These are just a couple of screens from the actual channels that you can integrate, so you can automate pretty much everything on IFTTT. It's crazy.
That's right. So yeah, they're always adding, and make no mistake, guys, IFTTT is very, very powerful. It's funny because as I got introduced to it, like I said, it was called the PDF is called Stupid Simple Web Programming. And it really is stupid simple web programming, but that doesn't mean it's not very, very powerful, because IFTTT has got, I mean, you can do so much with it. We're only going to talk about how to use it in one very specific way, and that's for SEO, automating social signals, and helping to rank properties or digital assets. But there, you can do so much more with it, okay? So I encourage you to spend some time playing around with it and learning about it, okay? All right, so we're going to keep moving, and we'll show some examples of stuff throughout the presentation. Buffer, if you guys aren't familiar, Buffer is very similar to Hootsuite. It's a kind of like social media management posting app, whatever. And Buffer, I mean, this is just to demonstrate that IFTTT is big and that there are a ton of applications that it can be used for. Because this is a blog post by Buffer on the Buffer blog, and there's the link if anybody's interested in going to look at it, or just go Google the big list of IFTTT recipes, and it'll be the first link that pops up. But you can go through and you can see all the amazing things that you can do with IFTTT by reading through some of these blog posts. And I've got a Google alert set up for IFTTT mentions, and I get 2-3 emails per week about new articles and blog posts and stuff where people are mentioning IFTTT recipes, and it's interesting to see a lot of the cool stuff people do with it. Okay. So what is the IFTTT SEO strategy? Well, this is a simple diagram that we created to kind of demonstrate what IFTTT does and the syndication networks. And so for those of you that are unfamiliar with what it is that I'm talking about, hopefully over the next couple slides you're going to gain a better understanding. So essentially all of these right here are the different kind of Web 2.0 and social media properties that we can post to. It consists of various forms of web properties, right? There's blogs, there's bookmarking sites, social media sites, there's cloud storage sites, note-taking sites. There's all of these different kind of sites that we can integrate, and as again, they're called channels inside of IFTTT, but we can integrate them so that we can create triggers and actions, and we could use something like our YouTube channel as a trigger, or our blog, if we're doing website SEO, right? We can use our website and the blog from our website as a trigger. In which case, anytime that we post a new content to either our channel, so we either upload or live stream a video to our channel, or do a Google Hangout on air through our channel, or if we post content to our blog, our main, our website, our money sites, whatever, then they'll automatically republish themselves through the IFTTT application to all of these properties. And at that point, it will build a link back to the source, which would be your blog or your YouTube channel. Plus, it also with YouTube, it will give you on many of the properties, you end up getting embeds as well. So you get a mix of embeds, backlinks, social signals, and bookmarks, 100% on autopilot, right? Once it's set up, this works 100% on autopilot. The only thing that you need to do once these networks are set up is focus on generating content, creating content, and the rest is automated. Okay, so very, very powerful indeed. So this diagram here, guys, is just showing that YouTube is the trigger. So any uploaded video or live stream video to this channel would automatically post to this number of sites, right? And this is some of these sites have been removed, other ones have been added, guys. This is just a representation of how it works. Okay. All right. So next is the benefits. What kind of benefits can you expect from using syndication networks? Well, traffic, I put this as number one. And the reason why is because it's not just about rankings, guys. It's about traffic. Why is it that we want to rank to begin with? Because I know in the SEO space, everybody always talks about, I want to rank this and I want to rank that. But what is it that you're really after? Are you after that number one position so that you can puff your chest out and say, I'm a badass, I got to number one? Or are you after the traffic that comes from being in the number one position, and then the revenue that you generate from that traffic? That's really what you're after. It's not about the being in the number one position. It's about what you can generate from the traffic from being in the number one position. Does that make sense? So that's why the benefit here is traffic. It's not just about ranking. It's also about the traffic that you can generate from all of these other properties, right? I mean, you got to think about it, guys. When you syndicate content to your social media properties and everything else, why do you do that to begin with? And I'm not talking, let's put IFTTT SEO aside, but typically whenever you generate content for your business or for your blog or your website or whatever, a lot of people will use like Buffer or Hootsuite or something like that will automatically republish to their social media properties. But why is that? Is it for the SEO, or is it because there's traffic on those properties? There's people there, right? It's for the traffic. And so when we automate these syndication with these large networks, we're able to generate traffic to our offers from third-party platforms, right, outside of Google as well. But then obviously we want the SEO too, right? So this is auto backlinks and social signals, right? High authority sources, Google Social Data Hub partners. Google Social Data Hub partners is being deprecated, and what I mean by that is if you guys go search Google for Google Social Data Hub partners, you'll see an article and it explains what Social Data Hub partners are. Essentially what they do is Social Data Hub partners are like Twitter and Delicious and Digo and Blogger. There's a number of them that will share information with Google so that Google can see where traffic is coming from, the keywords that it's just when they say Social Data Hub partners, it means that they're sharing their traffic data and analytics data with Google. Okay, now that's going to be they're redoing how that works, but trust me, the properties that we use are Google approved properties. Some of them, not all of them are, but many of them are Social Data Hub partners. okay? Brand signals and awareness. This is very, very important as we continue to move further into the semantic web, guys. Brand signals is very, very important. I'm sure any of you that are doing any sort of local SEO are aware of big brands are getting much more exposure now in the search results than a lot of local business sites. For example, Yelp and Home Advisor and Angie's List, and those kind of properties are outranking a lot of local business websites, and it's because they're big brands, guys. And so we can actually manipulate our brand signals a bit by using these IFTTT syndication networks, okay? So it's very important. Video embeds and deep linking. Video embeds is important for video SEO, as you all know. Deep linking, that's for, basically building links to websites and building links to the blog posts, which then have internal contextual links that link up to the pages on the site that you want to rank. A lot of times it's not the blog posts you're trying to rank, it's pages on your site that you try to rank, but you use the blog posts as a way to reinforce your pages, right? And that's how we use IFTTT, is to build links to our pages through our blog posts, and that'll make a little bit more sense in subsequent slides. All right, and improved indexing rate, and that's important too. Okay. Traffic and backlinks. This is Hernan, you are unaware of this, but I took your screenshots that you shared with the update webinar last month, and I added them to the presentation for this because I thought this was a better representation than what we had. But you can see right here, this is my partner Hernan. If you want to comment on this, Hernan, you can see where these red lines are, and these are fairly recent photos, or screenshots, but you can see where he applied the IFTTT SEO strategies, and you can see what it's done to the traffic and the rankings on some of these. And this was just one example, guys, but I wanted to show that. Hernan, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, basically these are two, in fact, there are two different websites on two different niches. We had, these are only two examples, but we have a ton of examples from students and whatnot. But the main idea here is that you get your content syndicated out the way Bradley's going to show you in a minute. But you get these, you get these results. I mean, we started doing, as you can see on the bottom one, that's SEM Rush for a client of mine. And they come from a penalty. They were penalized on January 2013, as you can see there. But they are slowly going back thanks to syndication and some other things. But the main thing here is that syndication is really powerful in terms of traffic and rankings as well. So
that's right. That's right. And like I said, guys, the more that as we continue, as the semantic web starts. We keep progressing further into it. That's those of you that are like really read up on SEO and about Hummingbird, which was an update about 3 years ago now, and now RankBrain, and all of these are semantic web algorithm updates, right? And so these are the kind of results that we see with IFTTT SEO and sending these brand signals and reinforcing our footprint, really. And that's a bad word in SEO, is footprint, but not the way that we build these networks. We actually claim our footprints, and that's why it works so well, and that's why I said earlier in the presentation to unlearn what you already know about SEO. We got to keep moving though, guys. So how do we make it work? Okay, so it's pretty much a three-step process. Now, make no mistake, there's a lot a lot that goes into each of these steps, but essentially when it boils down to the most basic of concepts here, it's a three-step process. Number one is to set up the accounts and to interlink for massive authority, guys, and that's what I was just talking about with footprints. With SEO, everybody always is trying to hide footprints, and you hear about people building PBNs all the time, right? Private blog network sites, which you got to buy the domains with fake whois data, right? So like you go out and put fake information in when you buy the domains, and then you put them on at least C-class hosting, which, by the way, that's not good enough anymore. You need to have A and B-class hosting if you're going to be building a private blog network, because C-class hosting, C-class IP hosting isn't enough anymore. You got to hide your records and your name servers, and you got to make sure you don't leave any footprints and all that stuff. It's great. We all do it in SEO. I get it. I still do a lot of that stuff too. But we build on the foundation of building these syndication networks that are branded properties. They are extensions of our brand, right? And a brand can be a business, it can be a website, it can be a YouTube channel. It doesn't matter. A brand is a brand. So we create these networks that are extensions of our brand, and then we syndicate. We're claiming our footprint. We're not hiding it. We're claiming. We are saying this is us on these other properties. This is my brand on these other platforms. Okay, and then we push our content out. We do outbound marketing from our blog or our YouTube channel and push content outwards, which then builds our inbound links and social signals and drives traffic back into us, right? So everybody talks about link building all the time and going out and publishing content on other third-party platforms and then placing a link back to their website. What we do is just produce content, and our content automatically syndicates and does all the backlink building and the inbound link building and all that for us, okay? And again, we're not trying to hide anything. We claim it, all right? And again, this will make more sense as we go a little bit further. Create IFTTT recipes is step number 2, and the number 3 is to publish content and syndicate it to the networks, which is done on autopilot. Okay. All right. So, step 1, we're going to walk through these steps quickly. And guys, the questions, I see some questions in the question box over here about content has to be unique in order for Google to love it, and that's complete BS. That's why I said earlier that you have to unlearn what you think you know about SEO when it comes to how to deal with brands, guys. That is not the case, okay? Going out and creating a piece of content and spinning the content and then putting it on other properties with a link back, that can actually harm you today. To make your content unique, that kind of crap can harm you. If you're going to produce original articles, then, you know, like 100% unique and original articles, not spun stuff, and then publish it, that's great. But if you're using spun stuff, that can actually cause trouble. So we'll talk about more of this in the question and answer session, guys. Just save your questions for the end, okay? And we'll talk about that because that's a question that comes up often. So that's a good question, and I'd like to cover that at the end, okay? Step 1, account setup. Here, just a list of some of the properties. We listed some of the more powerful, you know, bigger, more well-known properties here. This is by no means an all-inclusive list, but just a handful of them, okay? The best practices, guys, branded properties. This is very, very important. All right. So what we do again is we create a brand. You know, if we're doing this for local businesses, for example, the local business name will be the brand that we're going to use for all the properties that we set up. But remember, a person can be a brand, right? So we also use sometimes persona networks. That's a little bit more advanced. Let's just stick with the branded stuff for right now. Branded networks are, again, extensions of your brand. It's just that website, that business, whatever, on other properties as well. Okay, so branded property is very, very important. The interlinking is what gives us the power, right? Because what I mean by interlinking is in every single property, where available, some properties don't allow you to add additional links to your other properties, but many of them do. For example, Google Plus or YouTube. If you go to a YouTube About page, right, on the YouTube About page, and you go to edit your channel settings for your About page for your channel, you can add links. You can add a few links that show up on your channel header, right, but then you can add additional links. And so that gives us what we call a semantic hub. It's a perfect place for us to list all of our other profiles within that IFTTT ring. So we're on YouTube, the About page, we're going to link to our main website if we have one. We're going to link to Blogger and the Tumblr and the WordPress and Delicious and Digo and Pocket and Drive, or our public Google Drive folders, our public OneNote folders, Evernote, you know, all the different properties that we just listed. We're going to list our URLs to our profiles, our profile URLs on that About page. Because what that does is that has now created a semantic hub where all of our other properties are listed together and they start sharing link juice. They start sharing authority, right? We're claiming our footprint. Plus, that gives us that About page that now we can build additional links to. And when we build links to that page, the link equity is going to distribute across all the links on that page, which are all of our other social media properties, right? And so the thing is that's just one of them. The same thing happens with Google Plus, right? Google Plus on your profile page or on a Google Plus business brand page, not a local page, but on a brand page, you can list all of your other properties, put links to all your other properties. So that's another semantic hub. Gravatar is another great one. About.me is another great place to do that. So there's semantic hubs that we use so that we can interlink all of our properties, and then we use those as additional link targets. That makes sense, okay? Best practices, another one is frequency and relevancy. What this means, guys, is your frequency of publishing is going to make the networks perform better, and you'll get better or results faster by frequency of publishing and making sure that it's relevant content. And what's important here is the fact that you're going to be producing content from either your YouTube channel or your main money blog or whatever. All the content that you produce is going to be relevant, right? Because it's content for your blog or for your channel. And then it syndicates across your network, which reinforces the overall theme, the topic of your network, which then builds authority, right? And also keep in mind that what we do is we like to set up all of our branded properties to act as if they're landing pages, because what I mentioned before about traffic being the #1 benefit of these networks is that you literally can generate traffic and visitors from your IFTTT properties. So you want to treat those as landing pages that have a call to action on them so that people will actually click through back to your website or your YouTube channel or whatever and take the action that you want them to take. So we treat those as landing pages. Okay, we make them nice. We put graphics on them and all that kind of stuff and theme them consistently with the rest of the brand. It's very important. All right. Step 2 is the recipe setup. But here's the bonus I was talking about, guys. If you want to go check out the account workbook template, it's 100% free. All you have to do is just visit this, semanticmastery.com/webby recipes, one word, and you can go see the Google spreadsheet that we use. Do not request access to edit it, because I will absolutely deny it if you do. What you do is go to the top left menu bar where it says go to the File menu, click on File, and then you'll see where it says Make a Copy. In the options under File, it'll say Make a Copy. Click that, and it will make a copy of the Google spreadsheet in another tab, and then you can edit it. You will not be able to edit the template, okay? And if you request access, you won't get it. Just so you know, just make a copy, and you can edit and use it, make as many copies as you want, okay? But all of our account. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just a quick note, Bradley. I left the link also on the chat box with the link as well, so you can click on it. And yeah, just follow the instructions. Okay, just make a copy or download it.
That's right. But I mean, you can download it as an Excel file, but the reason why I do everything in Google Drive is because it's updated in real time for all collaborators, and so like our virtual assistants and everything else can see updates and that kind of stuff. So I recommend that you work in Drive, but you can do whatever you want. All right. So here's an example of what the IFTTT recipes look like, guys. I know this might look a little bit small on your end, but don't worry. Go look at the workbook that I just showed you, and you can see the recipes yourself. There's a tab at the bottom of the workbook for IFTTT recipes, and in there are all the different recipes that we use. There are video syndication recipes. There are RSS syndication recipes. Those are the two main types of recipes that we use. There's also YouTube-like recipes for basically re-syndicating YouTube videos across the network once they've already been syndicated once. That's a little bit more advanced. You'll learn about that inside the training if you decide to join the Academy today. But the recipes are there nonetheless, and those are the exact same recipes that we use, guys. They've been tested and refined for over 4 years now, and those are the exact recipes we use. You're free to modify them any way you want, but just know that if you want to achieve the kind of results that we typically get, stick with the recipes as we have them, okay? And there's also some tier 2 recipes. That's a bit more advanced. We're not going to get into tier 2 syndicate or second tier syndication today. That's all inside the Academy, all right? But this is essentially it, guys. If you want to use the IFTTT account, or excuse me, the recipes from the account workbook template, just copy the link from the cell. So just right-click, copy, and then go. You have to be logged into IFTTT. Okay, so create a free account on IFTTT.com, and then copy the link from the recipe from the workbook, and then paste it in the address bar and click go, or paste it in and click enter, whatever. Okay, and that will basically pull up the recipe with all the settings. There's sometimes on like the blog recipes, like Blog or Tumblr, WordPress, there are some things that you will need to edit, or what they call ingredients. Some of the ingredients will need to be edited to be specific to your properties, but it should be pretty self-explanatory. Okay. All right, we're going to keep moving. Step 3 is to post and test. All right. So this is where the magic happens, guys. Once you've created all the recipes, and part of the reason, by the way, that we created that account workbook template is it's a bit time-consuming to manually create recipes, and so this will just save you loads of time to just be able to copy the recipe URL and paste it in the address bar, and the recipe is pretty much all set up for you, other than maybe some slight customizations on some of them. So it'll save you a ton of time, guys, just using those pre-made recipes, okay? So once the recipes have been set up, And by the way, you have to connect all those accounts to your IFTTT network, or to the IFTTT account. In other words, like when you set up a Blogger blog or Delicious Indigo, those accounts have to be connected and activated, authorized by IFTTT in order for you to be able to use it to post to them. All right, so once you've done that, then the magic happens where the syndication happens when you start creating content. So that's what we're talking about here. All right, so step 3 is to publish. IFTTT.com is currently down. That's funny. Somebody says that. Yeah, all IFTTT occasionally goes down for maintenance, guys. It's very rare, but it'll be back up. Okay, don't worry about it. It'll come back up if it is down. So publish and post and wait. Once you publish a video to your channel, or you can live stream it or do Hangout on Air, whatever. As long as it's a public video, or you publish a post to your blog, then it will automatically syndicate using the recipes that we just shared to the properties that you've connected into your network. Okay, so for videos, one of the things that we like to do when we're creating videos, guys, is also use playlists. Playlists are very, very, very powerful for video SEO. If you guys aren't using playlists, I know pretty much everybody on this webinar is doing video SEO because you're an ABS, customer or subscriber, and so I know a lot of you guys do video stuff. And if you're not using playlists, start using them. Okay, and we have a $7 program. It's a training program with videos and everything that we call YouTube Silo Academy. You should check it out. If you're not using playlists, because we teach exactly how to use playlists and create silos with playlists, just like websites have, and it's incredibly powerful. So these are just some little tips I wanted to share with you guys. For videos, use playlists. For websites, you want to use internal linking within the post. What I mean by that is if you're going to be using IFTTT networks to rank websites, guys, which you absolutely can, what you want to do is within the blog posts, because pages don't insert themselves into the RSS feed, right? Pages on a WordPress site don't go into the feed. There are plugins that can pull pages into a feed. I typically don't do that. I just use the blog. But what you can do with the blog is, especially if you have a siloed website, is you can create posts within a particular category and then put contextual links within the content of the posts that link back up to the pages on the site that you want to rank. Okay, and that's very, very important, because what you're doing then is whenever that post syndicates out across a network, it's going to have links pointing back to the post, and within the post it's going to have a link pointing up to the page. And you want all that link equity to flow up the silo to the top level page, and those are the pages that are typically the broader keywords where you're going to receive the most traffic, and those are the ones that you want to rank for, right? So make sure that you're doing that, because otherwise you're missing out on really the effectiveness of the networks. All right. Once you publish the content, you just got to wait for it to syndicate through the network. IFTTT, it's not instant. Trust me, some of our students will publish a post, and then within 30 seconds they're submitting a support ticket saying that IFTTT isn't working for them. And it's like, okay, if you just waited 10 minutes, it would have gone through. However, if you want, you can go force the recipe manually if you're impatient. And by doing that, there's a little wheel icon next to the recipes on your recipes page inside of IFTTT. You can click on that, and then there's a force run button, and it will force it to run and will make it syndicate. I'm typically impatient when I set them up, so I like to publish a piece of content and enforce the run through all of the recipes that are set up in that account just to make sure everything's working. Okay? All right, so the next thing is, this is an example of what it looks like. So on the left here is a post on our main website. Okay, so this is our main money site at semanticmastery.com, and this is one of our blog posts. And here on the right-hand side is our Tumblr account that's connected to our network for Semantic Mastery, what we call our Tier 1 branded network. And you can see how beautiful it is on the right? This is the Tumblr. This is done 100% autopilot, guys. We didn't have to do any formatting here or nothing. All we did was publish content to our blog, and it automatically pushed itself to our Tumblr property, and it looks like this. Okay, and you can see how beautiful that is, right? And that's why we talk about treating your Tier 1 branded properties as landing pages, okay? All right, here's an example of just how it looks, a syndicated video looks across the 3 main blog properties within the networks, Blogger, Tumblr, and WordPress. Those are the 3 big ones that we use all the time, and these are the automatic embeds, and you can see this is what it looks like. So this is one that this is one that I did. And you can see that what we do is we get the embed, we get the title and the embed, and then we get for the the YouTube recipes, all we syndicate. I don't import the descriptions. So like if we upload a video to our channel and we have a nice long description that's got, an SEO article in there, which is great for SEO, and we've got our links to all of, the places that we want to drive traffic to and all that, that's great. But for syndication and for the SEO portion of this, we don't import the descriptions. All we do is put a link, we do the embed, and then a link to the actual video using the title as the anchor text, because that's usually our keyword anyways, and then we link back to the channel. And you can see that that's what these look like, okay? And it's very powerful. I've never had a video syndication network terminated. I've had blog syndication networks terminated because of spammy activity, but I've never had a video syndication network terminated. And when using recipes the way that we have them set up, if you start, and also if you were to use something like, produce hundreds of videos in a day, you might get your accounts terminated. But just keep in mind the recipes are set up in the safest way. Okay. All right, we're going to keep moving. Important, we want to make sure that you don't miss this. If you're going to be doing blog syndication, guys, this is very, very important. Attribution links, okay? So for YouTube, guys, you don't have to worry about footprint issues with networks for YouTube. In other words, when I talked about footprints earlier, if you're using IFTTT syndication networks for blog syndication and to help rank websites, then I recommend sticking with just one branded network. So one tier 1 branded network that you syndicate on autopilot your content to, anything that you publish to your blog. Because with websites, it's different than YouTube. Websites, you guys know, we talked about this earlier, you have to be careful with Google's algorithm, right? It's constantly becoming more and more complex, and Google's always looking for people trying to game the search results, and they punish them. So if you start stacking networks, again, this is an advanced technique, but creating tiered networks or adding other syndication networks to your blog syndicate, to syndicate blog content, then those other networks can't be branded because you can only have one branded network, right? And so when you start stacking other networks, they would have to be persona-based networks, and that is a footprint because you're only doing it to game search results or to manipulate search results. And Google, that's against Google's terms of service, and they can punish you for that. They can penalize you for that. Now, there are ways to minimize your footprint when using tiered networks for blogs, and we talk about that in the advanced training inside the academy, but I still recommend only going with one tier 1 branded network for blogs because it's just safer, it's less maintenance, and it's still incredibly effective, and then we do things to the branded tier 1 network to improve the performance of them. For YouTube, however, there are no footprint issues. You can stack as many tier 1 networks on one YouTube channel as you want. You can build 2-tier networks, which are, again, the advanced strategy is 2-tier networks, but essentially a 2-tier network is a tier 1 branded network and then 3 tier 2 networks. If one network is 20 properties, and it's give or take a few properties depending on when you're building them, but let's say, to keep math simple, that each network is 20 properties. With YouTube, guys, you could stack 5 tier 1 networks on one YouTube channel. You can stack as many as you want. I'm just giving you an example. And that would be 100 properties, tier 1 embeds and backlinks and bookmarks and social signals that you would get from every time you uploaded a video to your channel. With a tier 2 network, one tier 2 network is one tier 1 ring with 3 tier 2 rings. That's a total of 80 properties for the whole network. Right? So if you had 5 tier 2 networks with 80 properties, that's 400 properties that you're going to automatically syndicate to with just an upload to your YouTube channel. And there's no footprint issues whatsoever as long as you use the recipes that we shared with you in the account workbook template. You start importing descriptions and all the other stuff, then you can get in trouble. You can have accounts terminated that way. But if you use the recipes as we've laid out for you, there are no footprint issues to this day. And we hammer and hammer our YouTube channels with these networks, guys, and it works incredibly well, 100% on autopilot. All right, so just keep that in mind. With attribution links, when you start to syndicate blog content, it's very important that any type of blog content that gets syndicated, because it's an exact duplicate of the content from your main money site, there's no spinning, there's no modifying of the content, it's an exact copy that gets pushed out to your syndication networks. You want to create, and it's automated, guys, but you want to make sure there's an attribution link. An attribution link is a link pointing back to the source, where the original source came from, where that article came from and was published originally. Okay, that attribution source, when you're citing the source, it's a citation, and you're citing the source, that's an approved method for being able to republish content. Think about press releases, guys. When you publish a press release, it gets distributed from one press wire, one press cable, right? But then from there, other media outlets pick it up and republish the exact same press release. It doesn't get spun, it doesn't get modified, it gets republished with a link pointing back to the original distribution point, which is the original press cable. Okay, that's exactly how IFTTT SEO works, is you have to have an attribution link that points to the original thing. Press releases don't cause harm unless you're using an exact match keyword, which anybody doing press releases should know better. So my point is our method is the exact same thing. All right, you have to have an attribution link though, because otherwise then it is duplicate content and it can cause problems if you don't cite the source. All right, so just make sure that you do that. So attribution links, how do you do that? Well, Yoast RSS advanced settings, the Yoast SEO plugin for WordPress, the WordPress SEO plugin by Yoast, right? It has RSS settings inside the Yoast settings. We're going to, in the next slide, you'll see a screenshot where you can go and actually code in an attribution link. It's very, very simple to do, and if you're using the Yoast SEO plugin, it will automatically insert an attribution link into your RSS feed underneath each post, which points back to the original source. We also have a plugin that we created for ourselves for internal uses called the Semantic RSS Control plugin. It does the same thing that Yoast does for the RSS attribution link insertion, except that it gives us the ability to add some spin tags into there, just so that the text before or after the link back to the source can be varied. It just gives some diversification. Okay, and that's included in the IFTTT SEO Academy training. It's free. That plugin, there's a free version and a premium version. The premium version is only available to our mastermind members, but the free version is available inside the Academy. Okay. IFTTT hard coding, that's another way that you can add an attribution link. If you're not using a Yoast RSS plugin, or excuse me, the Yoast WordPress SEO plugin, or you're not using our free RSS plugin, then you can still code in an attribution link using IFTTT. And again, that's covered in the training. Okay. So here's the attribution link coding inside the Yoast settings. For those of you that are familiar with Yoast, you're probably aware of this already, but those of you that are not, you just go click on the Advanced tab, and you'll see that there's an RSS tab up here. And then from there you can put in an attribution either before the content or after the content. And there's some tokens right here that you can use, and it's self-explanatory as to how that works. Okay, so if you guys haven't done this yet, test with it. Just go in, set up your Yoast, play around with it, go look at your feed in Firefox. You want to look at your RSS feed in Firefox because it'll turn it into HTML instead of XML, and you'll be able to see what the attribution links look like. Okay? Okay. Attribution link example, here is one of them. You can see right here, this is a republished post. So it was published automatically through IFTTT to, this is a Blogger property, I can tell by the background, but you can see right here, this is the read more here, and then there's a link to the actual blog post itself with the title of the blog as the anchor text. So if I were to click on this, it would take me directly to the originating source for that article, and it would open up that post in another tab. Does that make sense? So it's just a link back to the original source. Okay. Guys, this is a game changer. You know, and I know that's a kind of a cliche, but it really had been. It was a complete business changer for me. Again, once I started realizing how simple yet powerful this system was, I started to repeat and to scale it. And for the last, well, since about 2011 or 12, when I learned this method, I have built my entire SEO business with IFTTT SEO as the foundation. Guys, it is not the be-all, end-all. There are certainly more competitive terms that it's not going to be enough to just have an IFTTT SEO network. There's no question. And I don't want to sit here and sugarcoat it and lead you guys to believe that. Sometimes there are times where you're going to need to do additional SEO stuff. What I'm saying is with the IFTTT syndication networks is it's a very powerful system that I use as the foundation, right? And I build upon that when needed, okay? So how can you earn more money plus grow and scale your business at the same time? Whoops, what just happened? You guys still seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, because the screen went funny on me for a minute. How can you earn more money plus grow and scale your business at the same time? Outsource and automate 95% of your tasks. Guys, and that's what I was talking about in the beginning when I was kind of giving you my history, is that I wasn't able to scale because I was doing everything on my own, and then finally I got wise and I started automating and then started outsourcing too. And you know, between the various companies that I'm a part of now, you know, we've got like 30 full-time outsourcers. Semantic Mastery alone has like 20. It's ridiculous. Like, we have a lot of outsourcers now because we outsource and automate a lot of stuff, guys, and you should be too, really, if you want to build a true business, so that you can walk away and your business still produces revenue for you, right? And that's very, very important. And this is one of the automation tasks. And by the way, these networks, guys, can be 100% outsourced. That's the beautiful thing about it. In fact, you shouldn't even be building them yourself, other than maybe one or two, so that you understand the concepts. From that point forward, you should either hire your own virtual assistant and have them build like an in-house virtual assistant that builds them for you, or you can outsource it. You know, we have a network building service, or you can you know, find others if that's the case. All right. Questions you should be asking is, how can I automate repetitive tasks? How can I outsource the labor-intensive tasks? Right, guys. Anything that's repetitive, you shouldn't be doing, because you can create you know, basically a procedure for how to complete that task and then hand that off to an outsourcer. Labor-intensive tasks, guys. You all that are on this webinar right now should be making hundreds of dollars per hour for everything that you do. You shouldn't be doing $10 an hour work. You should be doing hundreds of dollars an hour work, right? And so labor-intensive tasks that you can outsource to the Philippines for $4 or $5 an hour should be outsourced to the Philippines. It's not something you should be doing, guys. You got to start thinking like business owners, right? You guys should only be focusing on the high-level tasks, right? The things that are going to generate revenue for your business. Building Web 2.0 properties isn't really going to generate revenue. Once they're built, what you can achieve with them can. So that's why you should outsource that, okay? How can I spend more time on business instead of in it? That's what I'm talking about, right? Focus on the highest points of leverage within your business, right? Let the labor-intensive stuff should be outsourced. How can I protect or automate it, okay? Or both, really? How can digital assets, guys, very, very key. You want to make sure that the digital assets that you produce, either for clients or for your own portfolio, that you protect them from Google slaps and penalties and all that, and algorithm changes and all that. Very, very important that you're always trying to think ahead. Those of you that are doing spammy SEO tactics, if you're doing churn and burn, which is fine, where if you like you spam some stuff up in the search results, you generate some traffic and revenue, but you know that at some point it's going to be penalized and de-indexed and all that. That's fine if you understand that that's what you're doing and that's your strategy. Personally, I don't like to do that, because then it requires rework. Every time a property gets lost, then I have to go back and rebuild a new asset. So I try to protect my assets for long term. And so I think that's very, very important. You should, you know, the strategy that we're talking about today can help you to protect your assets. And I've got some IFTTT networks, no kidding, guys, that are still functioning today that are over 4 years old. No kidding. So how can I get consistent results with less work, right? It's another good question to be asking yourself. So we want to help. IFTTT SEO Academy V2.0. This is our second version of it. The first version, again, was developed originally by me, specifically for training outsourcers. It was not a product. It was never intended to be a product. However, once we realized how damn powerful it was stupid not to share it with everyone else. So that's where I kind of refined it a bit and made it an actual product, which we launched in 2015, in January of 2015. And we relaunched as 2.0 in March of 2016, on March 28th, 2016. But it's been completely redone. There's a lot of changes that have been applied to it. And now we update it on a monthly basis. Every single month we have a new update webinar, and we talk about new strategies and updates and everything else. So it's constantly evolving and being added to. It's very, very important to do that, so that it doesn't get stale, guys. And besides that, our whole community, everybody's using them in different ways, and so other people share how they use them, and that's really cool, because I've learned just as much from students on how to use these networks as I was able to teach, if that makes sense. Automated tools can cost hundreds of months to operate, or hundreds of dollars per month to operate. I mean, for example, anybody that uses GSA, Search Engine Ranker for building links, you know how damned expensive that can be, with the servers and the scrapers and the captchas and the, you know, the content and all of the proxies. Everything that you need literally can cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month to use link building tools and stuff like that. These networks don't cost anything other than time to set up or the cost to outsource the setup. Our mastermind community is a $297 a month product. That's our top level training program, is our mastermind community. We're just giving these examples to show the kind of dollar amount that you can expect to spend for advanced level training. IFTTT SEO Academy 2.0. If you go visit iftttseo.com right now, you will see it's a $67 a month program, and that's because we have all the updated training, and we do the update webinars every month, that sort of thing. However, before we reveal the price, Abs wants to offer some special bonuses. So with that, Abs, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there, Bradley. Yeah, if you can pass it straight over to me, that would be excellent.
You should have it now.
Yep, fantastic. I see it. Okay, if you can just give me a yes in the chat box. If you can see my screen, I'm on a blank presentation screen at the moment. Fantastic. Okay, Wim, I see it. Okay, excellent. Okay, brilliant stuff there, Bradley. I do have a special bonus. And I promised all of our users when I was emailing you out that I've got a very super hot bonus for you as well. So I did actually have something different planned to give you as a bonus. And then I thought, well, hang on a sec. What Bradley's program is offering you a way to automate absolutely everything, a way that is set and forget. It's totally free to work with. It gets you relevant backlinks, powerful social signals. It's evergreen and hands-free. So I thought, well, you know what, how can I top this? Well, I'm not trying to top it, but how can I add extra relevant value to this for all of you guys that do actually buy into this package? So anyway, I'm going to give you a quick example and a demonstration of this bonus, and I've only, to my understanding, or for what I can actually recall, I've only ever offered, or we've only ever offered this bonus once before. So the bonus is called KW Rank Tracker. It's a web-based service. Okay, can you just give me a yes in the chat box if you can see that I'm in my browser now and you can see KW Rank Tracker? You can. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how powerful this is. We've had this for a couple of years now, and I've never ever promoted this ever. We've only given it away once as a bonus. So anyway, what this allows you to do, it allows you to add URLs for your websites and your keywords, and it allows you to choose your Google location. So no matter where you are in the world, whether you want to track local rankings or global rankings, and you're going to be able to do it. Whether you want to track rankings for your sites or your client sites, you're going to be able to do it as well. So anyway, you add your URLs and you add your keywords one per line. But let me show you exactly where the magic happens and exactly why this is so different to other rank trackers out there. So the very first thing you can do is, obviously, it gives you a quick dashboard of your URLs that are actually ranking, or you're tracking the keywords that you're looking to rank for as well, that you're looking to track for, sorry, and your positioning in Google, whether you've gone up or whether you've gone down. Okay, so underneath this as well, it actually gives you a graph of all your competitors inside of, this actually gives you a graph of all of your keywords and how they're performing inside of Google, Yahoo, this is actually Google. I'll show you Yahoo and Bing in a moment. It gives you some metrics about your own website as well, and other keywords that we are known, or that are known, or your website is known to actually rank for inside of Google, and the position and the actual keywords and the search volume as well. Okay, what you can do from here as well is, let's say, for example, we'll have a look at this keyword here, bodybuilding workouts for size. So when I go over to this, you can actually get a daily figure on where your URL or what position your actual site is ranking for this keyword. You get to see the actual graph of how it's performing in Google, Yahoo, and Bing, and you actually get to see so much history for this as well. So as you can see, we've been tracking this one since March 2015, and now we're in July 2016. I can go all the way back to March 2015 should I want to as well. Okay, so that's only one area, and you can do this for all of the keywords that you're tracking and looking to track. You also get to see your Yahoo search engine. If you want to see Yahoo, you get to see graphs of 90 days and whatnot you as well. So I'll leave this to you at the moment, or I'll let you play with this when you actually get access to this. Let me show you around the other areas though. So it also tells you how popular your actual site is on social media sites. So this one isn't very popular. It tells you your top backlinks, your top anchor text used as well. However, here's where it gets really, really cool. So now you get to see your competitors for every single keyword that you're actually looking to rank for. So every single one of these keywords that I'm tracking for, I'm going to be able to see my competitors for that. So as you can see for this one here, okay, this is in Google at the moment. You actually get to see all of the competitors. So these are listed down here on the right-hand side. You get to see all of your competitors in Google, how they're performing over time. Sorry about this, guys. how they're performing over time, you actually get to see the weekly competitor data as well. So every week, so as you can see here, for 14th of July, that is, until the 22nd of July, you get to see how they're performing, or what position they were at and what position they're on now. And it allows you to see exactly how stable the ranking positions are for these as well. It also tells you the actual titles that are being used by your competitors, so that you can be in a position to construct a very nicely optimized title for yourself as well. And it also tells you the amount of characters each one of these positions, or the first top 10 pages in Google, have as content for their actual on their actual website. Now you can get this information for absolutely every single keyword. So this one's for amino acids now, and you'll get exactly the same data, or you'll get different data for all different keywords that you're going to be tracking. So this one this time is for best creatine supplements, and all sorts. Now you can also have a look at Google, Yahoo, and Bing. So you can change over the data, and you can have a look at Yahoo ones, and you can look at Bing and all sorts. What you can also do as well is you can view a history. So for example, if we're on Google, let me go back over to Google, and let me go over to history. You actually get to see the history from months ago. So this is back in May 2016, all the way until the 26th of July 2016. You get to see exactly how your competitors are performing over time, and who's been hit and who's been slapped and what not you as well. Okay, so this is another area where KW Rank Tracker stands out as well. But this isn't the only area. Let me show you something else as well. We've got an explore keyword section as well. So obviously when you're ranking for keywords, it's always a good idea to go after relevant keywords or other keywords that are within your keyword group. And this feature here allows you to find them kind of keywords. So let me just show you this here. So towards the bottom here, you actually get to see, so this is for amino acid supplements, and these down here are all related to amino acid supplements, and it allows you to see the average search volume, the actual the competition for AdWords, so how competitive these are in AdWords, if there's more businesses bidding for these or if they're not, and the CPC for these as well. Now what this allows you to do is quickly come along and have a glance and find other keywords that are related to your own keyword that you could actually go out there and target and go after as well. It also finds you LSI keywords as well. Now this isn't a brilliant example because you don't see many 2-phrase, 3-phrase and 4-phrase keywords on here, but we have actually updated the script, so this was actually taken quite some time ago. It tells you the top 10 ranking sites for the keyword as well, and the titles being used as well. And it also tells you if there's videos ranking in Google, and if they are, it gives you the URL, the position it's ranking on, and the actual title that's being used. Now here's some really cool stuff. If you're into AdWords, so if you do Google Ads, then this is absolutely brilliant because you get to see the actual, title, you get to see actual site URLs that are ranking, that are paying Google to be placed on their search engine results by paid for AdWords. You get to see the titles that they're being used, and you get to see the descriptions that are being used as well. Now, the longer you keep your websites and URLs inside of the KW Rank Tracker, then the more information the KW Rank Tracker is going to be able to provide you with. So if I click on all here, as you can see, I've got masses and masses of AdWord data from all sorts of websites, all sorts of titles, and all sorts of descriptions that are being used by my competitors to actually pay Google to be found for these keywords, and or to be found for these kind of terms. And you know what, these are all being optimized for click-through rate. So when you work with ads, they're all being optimized for click-through rate, which is absolutely brilliant. And you get to see this as well, not only on Google, you get to see this on Yahoo. Give it a couple of seconds to load. You get to see exactly the same on Bing as well. So you get to see your paid for advertisers on Google, Yahoo, and Bing. You get to see the different styles that people are advertising on Google, Yahoo, and Bing, and you actually get to see all of their data as well. So anyway, that's one area that I wanted to show you here. And again, guys, you get this for absolutely every single keyword that you're going to be going for. So I can click on bodybuilding routines, and now we'll get all data. So keywords related to bodybuilding routines. We'll get LSI terms down here. We'll get our competing sites on here, and we'll get AdWords on here as well. Obviously, not all keywords are going to have AdWords out there because not all keywords are going to have the same type of value. Okay, now let me talk about long tail keywords. Long tail keywords are absolutely brilliant. We love long tail keywords, and the system gives you long tail keywords as well. All you have to do is click on any one of your keywords that you're looking to target. So if we click on amino acid supplements, what the system will do now is give you a bunch of long tail keywords. As you can see from here, we've got hundreds of long tail keywords, all with search volume, and it actually tells you what the CPC is for these as well, if you was looking to actually make money from AdSense or something like that. So anyway, you're going to get access to this, guys. There's one more area that I want to show you as well, very, very quickly. You've got a settings area in here. The settings area allows you to build reports. Well, it allows you to actually customize your reports. You can add your name, your email, and anything you want to see on a report. And when you go over to the dashboard, you can actually you can download a report. So I've actually downloaded this report. I'm going to show you this report here. So I've actually got a placeholder saying my logo here, but this would be your logo. So let's say, for example, you had clients and you're actually providing rank tracking services to them, or it'd be something you'd like to provide to them, and you'd like to brand the report with your own brand on there. Then you can do that here. You can add your name, you can add your telephone number and everything as well. And what the software does, it goes out there, it gets a screenshot, and it gives you all of the data that we've just seen inside of the website, but inside of this PDF guide. So it gives you your website details such as your titles and your descriptions and your meta keywords. Oops, being used. What have I just done there? I think I should go back to 100%. Okay, and I can scroll down. Yeah, okay, I can scroll down, and now you can see the keywords that we're tracking, how we're performing inside of Google, Yahoo, and Bing. You can see that little graph screenshot here as well, and then you get to see your organic keywords, other keywords that you're ranking for as well. You get to see your top backlinks, your top anchor text on here, and you get any personal notes that you might have written inside of the settings section here. So anyway, guys, you're going to get full access to this. Let me just show you exactly what you get, the kind of limitations and everything you get with this as well. So let me start from the current side. So you're going to get this KW rank tracker. You're going to get a premium account, and you get full access to this, which gives you, now it really depends on what package you pick up. I'm going to be making notes of this any second, so let me just show you exactly what you get. You can get either 1 year's access or 6 months access. You get to track 200 keywords per month, and you get to add unlimited domains. You get to build unlimited reports. You get to add your own branding, and you get rank alerts. Now, rank alerts was something I didn't show you. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's a total value of $297 over the year, and you get 1 year access if you buy the annual package of If This Then That semantic mastery package that Bradley's going to be taking you through in a moment, and you get 6 months access if you get the monthly package. Now let me just show you what I meant by rank alerts. So I'm actually in my Gmail account here, and as you can see, I've already added KW rank tracker, and I just want you to look at these dates down here, guys. So these are emails. I've actually got 2 accounts with KW Rank Tracker. That's why you're seeing 2 emails there. But have a look at these dates down here. July 26th, 25th, 24th, 23rd, going all the way down. We're going to June. So I don't ever have to even log into KW Rank Tracker to find out exactly how I'm ranking. Let me just show you what a rank report looks like. So here it is. Hi, Ahmed Ravji. Here's a snapshot of your website. You can go into your dashboard. I can click on here, and it can take me over to my KW Rank Tracker dashboard. And it tells me exactly how my websites are ranking inside of Google for the actual keyword, and tells me all sorts of other websites that I've got as well. So anyway, guys, this you're going to get full access to this, either 1 year's access or you get 6 months access, and the only difference between them is the length of duration that you get access to these. Again, this isn't available any other way. We don't sell this. We've never sold this before, and you know what? It really is a cool system, and it allows you to keep track and tweak your websites to rank for other keywords as well. So Bradley, I know I've taken much longer than I promised, but I want, so I'm really sorry about this. I can talk sometimes.
No worries.
But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass it straight back over to you, because I know you want to take them through the rest of the presentation. So
Yep.
Let me pass it to you.
That's a great bonus, man. That looks really powerful.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I'll pass it to you. I'm going back on pause, and I'll let you take it through.
Let's see. Okay, you guys should be seeing it now. Tell me if you do.
Yes, coming through.
Get a yes in the box.
Coming through great.
Yes. Okay. We got 1 yes. That's good enough. All right. So guys, we got special pricing for Abs in his group today. Our monthly access is $57, so it's $10 off. These are the links that you guys can go to if you're interested. We also have a yearly access package, which will save you quite a few bucks. And again, both accesses are here. The yearly access is $497. That's not even something we typically sell at all. So we actually created that package for Abs today, or for us for the presentation today. And there's coupon codes there which will give you the discounted prices, guys. So take a screenshot of this. I'm sure somebody will also post it in the chat box. And we're going to keep moving through the next few slides, guys, because I want to share with what all is comes with this package, and then we'll take some questions. And we kind of got to plow through these next few slides, guys, so that we can answer some questions, because we have our Hump Day Hangouts webinar. It starts in about 35 minutes. And just as a side note, you guys are all free to attend our Hump Day Hangouts webinar. We do a weekly webinar from 4 to 5 p.m. every single week on Google Hangouts. It's 100% free to attend, and you guys can show up and attend and post questions, and we will answer your questions. It doesn't cost a thing. We welcome you to join us, and we'll answer questions for you for free every single week for an hour, okay? And that's semanticmastery.com/hump day, one word, HUMPDAY, so semanticmastery.com/hump day. And it'll take you directly to the Google Events page where you can post questions. I encourage you to join, okay? Check us out. So IFTTT SEO Academy V2.0, this is what comes with the training, guys. It's 100+ training videos, and I know that can sound a bit daunting, a bit overwhelming, but the reason that there's so many videos, guys, is because it is literally over the shoulder, step by step. And I developed this training to take a cold virtual assistant, so a virtual assistant straight off the street that has never had any online marketing experience, put them through the training, and by the time they're done, they can build these networks for me. And I don't have to have any input whatsoever on the training process, because it's covered in the training. That's why it's so detailed, because again, it was originally developed for virtual assistants. So it is literally step by step by step, nothing left nothing left to chance. And so that's why there's so many videos. It's very, very powerful training, but again, it is definitely intense. There's a lot of stuff through there. And so I recommend, though, if you purchase, not to skip over anything, guys, because a lot of the times we'll have people that will come and they'll post support questions, or they'll submit support tickets, or they'll post in the various groups, or the IFTTT SEO Academy group, with questions about how to do something, or with problems that they're having because something's not working correctly. And about 90% of the time, when it comes down to it, it's because they didn't follow the instructions. It's because they probably thought they knew better and they were taking shortcuts. And so I recommend that you go through everything if you're going to purchase, all right? It'll save everybody time if you just go through the training. Powerful community of entrepreneurs. We have a private Facebook group that is only accessible through the IFTTT SEO Academy training. In other words, it's like literally you can't join the group unless you're inside the membership area, and then there's a widget that you click which will authorize the Facebook application. But so it's a very powerful private community of only other IFTTT SEO Academy members. There's I don't know how many people are in there now, over 500, right? I think. Anyways, I know there's a bunch of people in there, and there's a lot of people that are active in the community, and we have some moderators in there that also contribute on a regular basis, and we do monthly update webinars. And again, every single month we do an update webinar where we talk about any changes to the existing training, any property changes, or interface changes with the various properties that we work on. We also introduce new methods and new syndication recipes and that kind of thing. Plus, we have our members that are also posting case studies. We have a thread within the group where people post case studies and results and stuff like that, so that you get to see how other people are using it besides just what we share with you. Okay.
Sorry, Bradley,
yeah.
But we have 413 members right now. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. So
great. So maybe after this presentation we'll have over 500. We'll see. So again, monthly webinars, guys. That's really important because we don't want the training to become stale. And that's something that from the first version it wasn't a monthly pricing. It was just a one-time fee, but there was constantly changes and support issues because things would change within the networks, obviously, or interfaces or properties would change, whatever, and then people would submit support tickets, and it just clogged us way, way down. So now we resolve that by making it monthly, and we can keep everything updated. Okay. Special prices for ABS audience only. Guys, again, the links are at the bottom of the screen. On the next several slides, you'll see those links in case you need to take a screenshot or whatever. Okay. IFTTT also includes, these are kind of the benefits is automate your ranking and SEO with powerful techniques. Okay, free your time from building links manually, guys. We all know that sucks, right? So this frees a lot of time from having to do that. You can get more exposure while staying within Google's terms of service, guys. That's what's really important here, right? That's what's really important. Okay, get more visitors and traffic using social media. Again, traffic, guys, it's not just about Google rankings. Anybody that builds their entire business on just Google rankings is building their house, it's a house of cards. It can fall at any moment, okay? And that's a dumb thing to do. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, Okay? Spread your eggs across multiple baskets. Generate trust, build identity and authority with interlinking. That's where we're claiming our footprint, guys. We're not hiding it, we're claiming it. And we're telling Google, this is us. This is us on all these other properties. And that brand identity and that authority that big brands usually are the only ones that get to experience, right? Create long-term business. Guys, again, I've got networks that are still producing today from over 4 years ago, and that's absolutely amazing in my opinion, okay? All right, detailed video training. These are the 6 main core modules. Module 1 is the updates where new training is posted. I put that as Module 1 because what I recommend people do is go through Module 1, go through all the videos, and that way any changes through the rest of the core training, they will be aware of it, or at least familiar with the change. So that's why I recommend that we go through updates first. Then Module 2 is the setup. That's where you prepare for building networks, or your VA is getting prepared for building networks. This shows how to set up Firefox properly, how to use proxies. If you're going to be building a bunch of networks, you're going to want to use private proxies. This teaches you how to do all of that. How to clean your computer from cache and cookies after each build or each session, all that stuff. Okay, this teaches you how to do all that. Module 3 is the setup and interlinking of accounts. That's the heaviest module. The most content heavy is Module 3 because that's where, like, literally we go through step by step of over 20 different account types and how to set them up and interlink them. Module 4 is the IFTTT automation triggers. We share how to actually manually create the recipes, although I highly recommend that you don't manually create recipes unless you're just testing things, because it's just time consuming and you don't need to. You have the account workbook template with all the automated recipes already created for you. Module 5 is advanced strategies, guys. This is where we talk about second tier or 2-tier networks. That's a bit more advanced, but there's also advanced link building and stuff like that that we talk about in there for for more competitive terms. I saw a question earlier come through the box, the question box about, or the chat box about what other SEO do you need besides networks? And that's where we get into a lot of that in the advanced strategies, and we'll take that question here in just a minute as well. Module 6 is the use training. This is my partner Hernan, who was just speaking a second ago. He's actually the one that did all the training for this. And these are the various ways outside of just blog syndication and YouTube syndication that people are using the networks for, like podcasting, for for syndicating podcasts, as well as online reputation management, for e-commerce. There's several different types of methods that can be used with the IFTTT syndication networks, and Hernan did a great job of teaching all those other various methods. I typically use it just for SEO because that's pretty much what I do for my business, but everybody, I mean, there's a lot of other uses for it as well, and there's several trainings in there for that. Very cool.
Yeah,
Bonuses. I'm sorry, go ahead, Hernan.
We got some explicit videos for YouTube.
Hernan, you're coming through real quiet. Can you turn up your mic?
Yeah, whatever now.
That's
Sorry.
better now. That's better.
I was about to say that we have some videos about YouTube marketing and video marketing with IFTTT. You, Bradley, have been doing some really good stuff with YouTube, so we decided to go ahead and do that, either for ranking in YouTube itself, ranking in Google with IFTTT, pushing or selling YouTube services to clients, those kind of things. So I think YouTube is widely covered over there. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, these networks are so damn powerful for YouTube. It's ridiculous. It really is. And I've actually been. I saw another question we'll cover in a minute, but how does this integrate with some of AB's products? And if we have time, I'll talk about that a little bit later, because I'm actually doing a case study with AB's Video Marketing Blitz program right now, and I'm integrating with IFTTT networks, and I'm seeing just amazing results. I've been working on this case study for about the last 3 days, and I'm seeing some really killer results, and I'm going to be sharing that with the group too. So, but anyways, Module 7 is the live stream sites. There are additional sites that we can syndicate content to automatically that aren't IFTTT dependent, but there are additional syndication points. So why not? Why should we should absolutely be using those. So Module 7 is about live stream sites. So again, they're not in IFTTT dependent, but they are additional sites that we can syndicate content to. Very, very powerful as well. Module 8 is advanced RSS, guys. I think RSS is one of the least or most underused things online for SEO. I think RSS is incredibly powerful, but also way underused. And so we have advanced RSS training for how to basically supercharge your IFTTT networks by using just RSS feeds, and it's very, very powerful indeed. Okay, so that's a whole other module specifically for that. Module 9 is advanced link building. This is where I get into some real ninja stuff. that I do for like those stubborn videos that just won't rank. So I get into it was well over an hour webinar that I did specifically for advanced link building, and last one is video power. And video power again is just it's another separate webinar that I did specifically for additional video ranking techniques. Okay, so both of these modules here are really good for those that need advanced SEO training. Powerful entrepreneur community. Again, we talked about the private Facebook community, which is for easy communication. We have moderators in there that contribute, that know the art system very, very well. We also, my partners and I, jump in and answer questions from time to time as well, and we also do the monthly webinars, which are posted in there, any updates, so everybody's always notified of stuff. You can network with other peers, right? So other professionals that are out there, movers and shakers, people that are making stuff happen and using the networks, okay? And so you can network with others, which is very, very important. You can get ahead of the competition by networking with others and applying some of the other techniques that other people are using, and you can uncover new opportunities for partnering or for doing joint ventures with others, or just uncovering additional ranking and traffic opportunities that you may not have known otherwise, okay? Next is access to the updates in the webinars. Again, the webinars, we do new strategies and methods, results and case studies, and dead accounts and new properties. In other words, when things change, we talk about them on the monthly webinars. That's very, very important because those questions come up often, okay? Right now, you can join for the yearly access of $497. Right there's the link. Use the coupon code, or monthly, it's $10 off, and there's the code as well. And you guys, you can cancel at any time. You're not on contract or anything like that. I highly recommend that you stay a member of the community because of the updates and everything. But also remember, I mean, guys, we talked about virtual assistants. The training, you can plug your virtual assistants into the training, and so that you don't even have to build the networks anymore. I do recommend that you build 1 or 2 networks on your own one time, and then immediately after you've built like 2 at the most, don't build them anymore. Have somebody else do it, guys, because you don't need to be spending your time doing that. Just know how they work, understand it, and then outsource that, and then just use the networks to achieve the results that you want. Right? So again, these are all that you get. You get 110 plus over the shoulder step-by-step videos, powerful entrepreneurship community, free updates and new strategies, monthly webinars, modules 1 through 6. I don't know what happened to 6. Oh, I guess the update module wasn't in here. But the main core training modules are 1 through 5 plus the updates. Those are all of them there. We mentioned those previously. Bonus 1 and bonus 2 are the live stream site module and the advanced RSS automation module. And then surprise bonus 1 and 2 are the advanced link building webinar and video power webinar. And there's a 30-day no questions asked refund guarantee, guys. So, if you get in and for whatever reason you don't like it, or it's just not for you, or if you happen to be somebody that buys products and just thinks because you purchased it that it's going to solve your problems, but you're not willing to take action, and you decide that it's too much work for you to do, then just contact us at support and we'll refund your money within 30 days with no questions asked, okay? But if you buy the product and you go through the training and apply it, you will see results. There's no question. All right, and right now, again, there's that slide again if you guys want to go join. And lastly, the 30-day no questions asked guarantee, we just covered that. 10 times the value of the cost, there's no question. We have students like, for example, I sell these networks, guys, to local businesses. I have my SEO agency, so I provide services to local businesses. Plus, I do all my lead gen. And my lead gen businesses, I build an IFTTT network around absolutely everything. And it's funny, my partner Marco, he makes a joke. He says, if my dog sits still long enough, he gets an IFTTT network built around his neck. Every single digital property we have online has a network around it. And it's just because it's so damn powerful. And so, one of the things that I started doing before this was ever a product, guys, was I started selling these networks to local businesses, so to my client base. And now it's just literally, I don't do SEO for anybody unless they purchase an IFTTT network. That's the foundation with which I build upon, right? And I mentioned that already. But I sell these networks at $797. So a tier 1 branded networks, I charge local business clients $797. I pay an outsourcer about $50 to build it for me. So that's a $600 or $747 profit off of one network that somebody else builds for me, right? And I sell these things. I don't do much client work anymore. I have existing clients, but I don't onboard new clients really anymore. It's not my primary goal anymore. So I don't really take on new clients. But there was a period of time where I would literally sell between 6 to 12 of these networks per week. Okay, not week. Excuse me. I'm sorry, per month. And that was a huge amount of money. And that was just to local business clients, right? So $750 or $797, I had about a $750 profit. That was big. But what's interesting is some of our students are selling these networks, or a two-tier network. One of our students, and we've got screenshot or photos to prove it of the check that he received for $1,995, $2,000. He's selling these networks. I mean, that's insane. Like, I think that's too much. My partners tell me I don't charge enough for them. So I just want you guys to know, I mean, the amount of money that you can make just selling networks, not even doing SEO services for anybody, just selling networks, you can make a ton of money. Okay. So here's some, I don't have time to go through and read these guys, and you probably don't want to read them anyways. Take a screenshot if you're interested. You can also see testimonials on the main sales page, which I don't recommend buying from that because you won't get ABS discount. But you can always go look at the main sales page at iftttseo.com, and you can take a look at, you know, testimonials and stuff on there as well, guys, if you want to take some time to do that. Okay. And so here's another one. Again, we don't have time to go through this because we'd like to answer some questions, guys, and we only have about 15 minutes because my Hump Day Hangouts webinar starts at 4 p.m. That's in 20 minutes. So we're going to roll through these really, really quickly. Q&A. Oh, and there's one thing I did want to mention, guys. We're going to start answering questions right now. But there's an unannounced bonus for those of you that are on this webinar right now. ABS, if you're going to make this out as a replay, maybe edit this out, or maybe we'll make it a limited time offer or something like that on the replay. But anybody that joins the IFTTT SEO Academy today, we'll throw in access to the YouTube Silo Academy training. We talked about using playlists earlier. It's only a $7 product. It's not a big deal, but we're going to throw it in anyways, guys. It's a full-on video training course. There's about 12 videos in it, plus a PDF, corresponding PDF that goes with it. So it's a true course. We use it as kind of a lead gen product, but it's very, very powerful. And so anybody that buys today is going to get YouTube Silo Academy included for free. Okay? Just submit your receipt to support@semanticmastery.com, and we'll hook you up with that because we got to give you access to the membership site for that. Okay. Other than that, we're pretty much done. So I would like to ask some or answer some questions. I've got a couple that I wrote down while Abs was talking about his bonus that I want to cover real quick, and then we'll go through just a few more. We'll go to about another 10 to 12 minutes if that's cool. So one of the questions I saw was, how does it work with Abs stuff? I mentioned earlier, you know, like for example with Abs Video Marketing Blitz, which is pretty damn powerful, you know, you set up test accounts to do the video keyword prospector, and you set up the test accounts and you go out and mass blast a whole bunch of videos out there, and then it checks to see which ones rank with no SEO work, right? Those are those are perfect. Those are great because I like easy too. Like, I think we all like easy, and so we know that those are easy targets. But here's the thing, once you've identified those keywords that you can rank for very, very easily with tools like that, then you're going to end up going back and deleting those, right? And then if you're familiar with the Video Marketing Blitz platform and the process, you delete those, and then you go and you upload regular type videos to normal, like, money site channels, right? Well, that's what I've been doing over the last couple of days for the case study that I'm doing for the Video Marketing Blitz for our audience. And what I'm doing is I use the product to test the keywords, and then I figure out, or you know, once I've identified the keywords that I can rank for, then I can delete them, and then I have another set of accounts that are money channels that are connected to the Video Marketing Blitz software, so that I can go post videos to my money channels. Well, my money channels each have syndication networks around them. So I already know that I can rank with no syndication networks because I've identified those keywords using Video Marketing Blitz. However, once I've deleted those from the test accounts, now I'm going to upload other videos for the same keywords to my money channels. Now they're also going to get that syndication, which is pretty much going to solidify those ranking results. Okay, so that's one way that you can use it. I know that Abs does a ton of SEO stuff or video marketing stuff, and these networks are so powerful for video. And the whole point is that if you set them up, you don't have to do anything but publish content. Once they're set up, all you need to do is publish content, and they take care of themselves. They do the backlinks and embeds and all of that. They can supplement other SEO work that you're doing, right? You can use them in addition to other SEO work. So very, very powerful. Another one was I saw somebody ask about syndicating blog posts, blog content. Somebody said, can you use the excerpts instead of full post? And as long as you have an attribution link. Yes, you absolutely can. I prefer using full posts. If you know what you're doing with SEO, and this is covered in the training, then there's a good reason to syndicate full posts. But yes, you can absolutely just use excerpts instead. And in fact, that's a setting inside of WordPress that you can adjust, because if you go to your settings and in reading, you'll see that there is a option to display the full text post in the RSS feed or just an excerpt. So you can just adjust that right within your WordPress settings. Okay, so if you're concerned about full text posts, which you shouldn't be if you follow the training, but if you are still concerned, you can just do that. All right. Another question: should networks be built for each client? Absolutely. Again, I don't do SEO work for anybody or even for my own lead gen properties without an IFTTT SEO network around every single property. And again, you can sell the networks to clients, which is a huge profit margin, and then those networks will help you to perform the SEO work that you probably sold them on too. And that's where content marketing comes in too, guys, because once you sell a client on a network, then you need to produce the content for them, right? A lot of times businesses will say, oh no, you know what, we'll do our own content, which is crap, because if you go back and check on it a month later, you'll see that they probably never did any posts at all, or they might have done one and it was crappy and blah, blah, blah. So that's why when I sell IFTTT networks and then I quote them on monthly SEO, that includes content marketing, because it's the content marketing that fuels the networks, right? That's what feeds the networks and fixes the actually completes the SEO process, right? So content marketing is an upsell that you can sell to clients that you sell to networks. And content marketing, guys, can be 100% outsourced, especially if you start using curation methods, content curation, which is what we do, and we teach how to use curation methods, and that can be 100% outsourced. So that all you're doing is arbitrage, right? The client pays you, and then you pay a curator, and the curator publishes the post, which automatically syndicates and does the SEO work for you. So essentially, you're just collecting money in the middle. It's a great, great strategy, guys. All right, so every client should get its own network without a doubt. One other question I saw, and then we'll go to the chat box for a few minutes. We got just a few minutes left. But what other SEO do you need besides networks? Well, again, if you're in a really competitive industry, and for websites, guys, you know, depending on the level of competition, you may need to do additional SEO work. There's no question, and I'm not going to lie to you and say that IFTTT networks is all you're going to need, because that's not true. In some cases, in some industries, for a lot of local terms, that's all you need. You can literally rank with just especially local stuff with citations and IFTTT network and consistent blog schedule, publishing schedule. But for more competitive stuff, you may need to do additional work, which would be like juicing your network. In other words, building additional backlinks to your IFTTT networks. Instead of building more links to your website, guys, which can get you into trouble and can get you penguin penalties and can cause trouble. You know, you got to worry about anchor text ratios and all this other kind of crap. Let your IFTTT networks be your tier 1 links that are building links to your money property, and then you build links to your IFTTT properties, right? Juice or build up the authority of your IFTTT network properties. That's one of the things that we do, okay? And that's very, very powerful. In fact, we have a link building service that is specifically designed for IFTTT network boosting. And that's what we do. So like step 1 is build the network. Step 2 is publish content. Step 3 is send the network over to a link to build, you know, to our link building service, or if you have your own link building tools and such, you can do it yourself. Okay. So those are the questions that I had written down. Adam or Hernan, if you guys or Abs, anybody, do you have any that you would recommend that I answer?
Yeah, we've got a couple here. I think that's really good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. So Tony was asking this earlier, and I wanted to make sure we answered this. Can you syndicate a video on YouTube after it's already been uploaded?
Yes. In fact, on the account workbook template, guys, on the IFTTT recipes tab, if you scroll down below the fold, you're going to see what's called YouTube-like recipes. Those are recipes designed specifically for once a video has been syndicated across a network, or if it's already a published video, like if it has never been syndicated because you didn't have a network when you first published the video. Then you can set up the like recipes, and then what happens is when you're logged into the channel, the YouTube channel that's connected to that syndication network, all you have to do is like the video, just thumbs up the video, and it will automatically syndicate that video across your network. So that's a way to get a second syndication out of the same video, the same network, or to get a already previously posted video to a new syndicated across a new IFTTT network, is to use the like recipes.
Cool. All right, and then this is kind of the same one. They didn't ask, but I think we should tell them. Can you get content that's already on your website? Let's say you've got a WordPress site and you've already published a post. Can you get that out to your syndication network after you've already posted it?
You sure can. And in fact, that's funny because that's something that's come up in the last like 2 or 3 weeks multiple times. There's a free plugin that you can use. It's called Republish Old Posts. So just go to Google and type Republish Old Posts plugin, and it'll be the first link. Click on that. It's a free plugin to download. You install it on your WordPress blog. There, go to the settings page and edit the settings to set up the republishing schedule. Okay, and it works on a cron job, which is an internal cron. You don't need to set up an external cron or anything like that. And then it will automatically reinsert published posts back into the feed. It won't republish the posts to your blog, to your money site blog. So it's not like all of a sudden your blog is going to have duplicate content, because it doesn't do that. All it does is it reinserts it into the feed and will trigger IFTTT to syndicate.
Cool. All right, and let's see. Brad was asking this one, and we actually have a post on our own website, but I'll let you answer this, Bradley. So Brad was asking, does this replace SendWire?
Well, I mean, it doesn't replace it. It's different. You guys, I have SendWire too. I got like 1,500 accounts in there. It's slightly under that, like 1,480 some accounts in there. I very rarely use it. Why? Because it requires manual work to use. I'm not bad-mouthing SendWire. I have it, guys. I paid for it too. What I'm saying is that it requires manual input. If you want to publish a post, you got to go in, you know, select the accounts, add the content, the link, the spun content, all of that kind of stuff, and then click the publish button, and then it will go out and publish the content. That's fine. I get that, and it works. There's no doubt. I wouldn't use SendWire for money site. For building links to a money site and at any time, because of the content spinning. Like, I don't use spun content to build tier 1 links to my money site. Don't ever do that. That's dumb. If you're doing that, guys, you're just asking for trouble. However, SendWire is very, very powerful for tier 2 links, or also for building links, or for video embeds and for video SEO. There's no doubt. But again, it requires manual work. What I like about the IFTTT networks is I can outsource the network builds. And then and then all I have to do is publish content, which I outsource that too. And then the content publishes and automatically syndicates itself across the networks. It requires zero input from me to function. Okay, and so that's why it doesn't replace it. It can be used. SendWire can be used as a supplementary tool to IFTTT networks. There's no doubt. Okay, next. Are we still on?
Yeah, I'm figuring out how to unmute myself. I'm having a user error here. Just wanted to reiterate, Hernan answered something here that somebody was asking, can you upgrade from monthly to yearly? Sure, just contact us at support and we'll help you out. And then a good question that Hernan noticed here was somebody was asking, can these networks be built around non-WordPress type sites or money and client sites, or is it just WordPress?
No, it can be triggered. Anything that has an RSS feed can be used as a trigger. So if like I have clients that have custom CMSs that as long as there's an RSS feed, I can still trigger them. So again, it doesn't matter. Like, and guys, you can use other properties as triggers. Like Facebook, for example, can be a trigger. You can use Twitter as a trigger. So there are several things that you can do. We just typically use YouTube as trigger or RSS feeds. And we talk about WordPress because most people have sites on WordPress. But as long as it has a feed, it can be used.
Cool. All right, well, we've got a couple other questions, but we're really running out of time. I think, Abs, if you have anything that you think we should answer here, because we got maybe 1 or 2 minutes before we really got to go. So
Sure.
If there's anything else you guys think we could squeeze in here, by all means.
Sure.
If you guys don't mind real quick, there's 2 similar questions back to back that I can answer real quick. I think this is important. One says, does this work for the Google 3-pack? The second question is, I have a photography website that is in Google Places for 3 local locations. It ranks low on organic. Can your system bring my organic rankings up without harming my Places listing? For the first question, does this work in the Google 3-pack? Yes, it does, because here's the thing, guys. You can attach your local page, your Google. There's 2 types of Google Plus business pages. There's brand pages and local pages. You can use your local page as part of your syndication network so that every time you publish a post to your blog, it's going to syndicate to the local page. If you go check your competitors in the 3-pack, I guarantee you that probably 98% of them aren't publishing content to their Google Plus local page. By you doing that on a regular basis, by you publishing content on a regular basis, and it's relevant to your industry, it's targeting the keywords of your your industry, and it's automatically publishing those to your Google Plus local page, it will absolutely help your local 3-pack ranking. Okay, and that's what because that's how I rank most of my lead gen stuff is in the 3-pack. Personally, I don't care about organic rankings for local stuff when I have a maps listing, because I find that most of my traffic comes through the maps pack, not through the organic listings. But to answer the second question, where the gentleman is talking about his organic rankings aren't as good as he would like, then yes, it will also improve your organic rankings without harming your local listing, because it takes again, guys, it's the frequency of publishing, so how often you post, and if you're in a more competitive industry, it's going to take longer because it's going to require more content, more posts, but it's not going to affect your 3-pack ranking in any negative way whatsoever. Okay, and again, if you connect your local page to your syndication network, then every time you produce content, you're reinforcing the theme, the keyword theme of that page, which will help it to rank. Okay. The very last question, and then we're done, guys, is how long does a complete setup take? It depends on how well that's why I don't recommend doing it yourself. If you're going to go through the training on your own, which I recommend you to do it once or twice, it'll probably take you a couple days to do the first one, and in the second network, it would probably take you about a day. But we have our virtual assistants that we've trained, which I recommend you hire your own virtual assistants if you're going to be doing a lot of this, and just put them through the training, and they'll be able to build them for you. And we have virtual assistants that can produce, Adam, you probably have a better idea, but they can do a full 2-tier network, 2 full 2-tier networks in 3 days. So it's about, what is that, about 2 full tier 1 networks in an 8-hour day. That's about the speed with which they build. So if you get really proficient at it, you can do it rather quickly. But again, guys, I don't recommend any of you do this more than just a couple times and then outsource it. Okay. All right, Abs, do you have anything to add, man? I'm sorry, we got to bounce.
Yeah, no problem. Excellent presentation there. Thanks everyone for coming along. The only thing that I wanted to add is I didn't mention how to claim your bonus. So all you have to do is email us at support@abbasravji.com and email us with your purchase receipt, and we'll have the bonus to you. The last thing that I want to make notes of is Kurt's question about how does it fit in with our products. If it's regarding Video Marketing Blitz, then as Bradley mentioned, you'd really want an if this then that network for every money channel that you have. And if it's about our bonus, then obviously with your own website, you're going to be adding content onto them. They're going to get syndicated to your if this then that networks and your social accounts. And then our bonus will allow you to track your rankings. It's going to send you daily updates on how you're getting your rankings tracked as well. So anyway, all you have to do is send over your details to support@abbasravji.com, and we'll have the bonus set up and sent out to you. Yeah, that's all.
Well, thanks, Abs. We really appreciate you having us on, man.
No, brilliant.
Yeah, this was awesome.
No, thank you all very much, and everyone that's come along as well. Thank you all very much. I know you guys have to go, so I'll end the webinar now. I've got a recording, and I'm hoping to have a replay for tomorrow as well. So thank you.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here.
Yeah, thank you all very much for coming along. Thank you.
Bye-bye.